There is a really bizarre story out of England. A newspaper, this is the Telegraph, installed some devices at the desks of their employees to help the environment, and there was this huge uproar. Here to talk about it, Shontaye Hawkins, a workplace expert with the book with profitistheNewBlack.com. So what happened when the Telegraph put these things at the desks?
Oh, the employees got really, really upset because they walk into the office from the weekend, and all of a sudden they're sitting down doing their work, and they start seeing these devices. And they asked their managers about them, and they gave them a reason that we are really trying to monitor movement and motion in the office so that we can be basically save money.
So was it like a camera or something?
There are these little there are these devices underneath the desk, and so they're sensors, and they sense movement as well as heat. And they were installed in some areas in the office, not everywhere. So if a company is truly trying to be more energy efficient and save costs, you would expect those devices to be installed everywhere because your employees aren't just sitting at their desk. They're going to the storage room, the copy room, the break room, the bathroom.
Right. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're trying to make sure you're trying to track your employee, how long they're sitting at the desk, that makes sense.
That makes sense, exactly. But if you're but that's not they didn't say that.
Right.
They gave the reason being we are trying to monitor and become, more energy efficient. That's our goal, and that's why we put these devices in. But the employees obviously weren't buying it because they're removed now.
Okay, good. Do you think that this is a direction that companies are going to be going in? You're a workplace expert. Is this a great way to monitor your employees?
Well, it's not, the question is really more about, it's probably not the best way to monitor them if they don't know that it's happening, right? Because because there's a trust, right? So I'm your employer, there's an employee-employer relationship, and if I believe that you're open and you're honest with me and you communicate things that are going on in the company, and then all of a sudden I find out that there's a monitor under my feet, each time I pop up, you're getting some trigger that I'm away from my desk, and maybe I'm away working with another employee.
Right.
Maybe I'm helping a coworker with an assignment. And so it looks as if this is what we're doing, you're tracking how long I'm sitting at my desk. It looks as if I'm away from my desk for a long period of time and I'm not being very productive, right?
Right.
So there are pitfalls and drawbacks to having that type of mechanism in an office, but there are also benefits to just communicating from the employer's standpoint what the initiatives are that you're putting forth so your employees know.
Shontaye Hawkins is here. ProfitIsTheNewBlack.com. So let me ask you this for a workplace. I mean, let's say I do have a couple of slackers, and I want to make sure they're working. I don't know if I want to do the punch clock. I had that. I think I had a punch clock when I was 16 years old working at a movie theater. But so I don't think that's going to work. Well, what does work to motivate people who may be slackers to get to work? No, I'm not looking at you, Hal. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at my people. I'm just asking.
You're looking for some feedback and advice right now to use with your employees right now?
Right. No, okay. I'm kidding. No, I have great employees. I'm teasing.
I think that it's more about really understanding if there is an employee that you believe isn't producing, right? You need to make sure you clearly communicate the expectations first and foremost. I don't believe in just installing devices to track and monitor, employees, whether or not they're at their desk. But I do believe in making sure that you have open communication with your employees, because if there's a good relationship there, if there's open communication and there's a strong bond of trust and respect, they're going to work hard. They're going to come to work happy. They're going to be excited.
But isn't that usually when you don't have the strong bond of trust, that's when the people are slackers anyway, so you have a problem with that employee anyway, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And when you do have that and that exists, that's why you need to make sure. You don't want to keep hanging on to people that aren't producing. You have to have some initiatives in place and policies in place in which you communicate that, hey, you're not getting the job done. This is your first warning. This is your second warning. If we have to continue this conversation, we're going to have to let you go. But you can, obviously, companies already have mechanisms in place in which they monitor what's going on with their employees, from your internet access to, you got a card key, so you use the card key to get in the parking garage. use the card key to get in the building, use the card key to get in the office. I mean, so they know where you are. They know when you're not at your desk a lot of times as it is already.
All right, Shontaye, give me one or two quick a piece of advice for bosses to have a great workplace. What can they do? What can we do as bosses? What can I do to make things better in my office for my employees?
Listen to them.
What?
That's one thing. Listen. Make sure you're listening. Okay. Yeah, listen to them. So if they're bringing, it doesn't have to be a complaint, but a concern, an idea, listen to them and let them know that you're listening to them. And if it's something that really sounds awesome and amazing, then look for ways that you can implement it. Secondly,
yeah.
I mean, it helps them feel as if they're a part of something bigger than just,
great. Okay, give me one more. I got one more minute.
One more is just to make sure that you communicate what's going on with them. No, don't catch them off guard with some devices underneath their desk that's going to really upset them. That's not a good thing to do.
So cameras at everybody's desk and not telling them why it's there, that's probably not good.
That's probably not going to go over very well, so I wouldn't advise that.
Okay. Shontaye Hawkins, thanks so much. The name of the website is profitisthenewblack.com, and go find that out. Thank you very much, Shontaye. We really appreciate you. Trending Today, USA.